A top AEW team is upset with Tony Khan's creative. Plus, WWE reportedly attempted to steal a Dynamite standout. And is MJF starting his own wrestling promotion? It's all in the wrestling news right now. That top team is the Top Guys. FTR were the talking point on Saturday night. Their main event at Royal Quest 2 against Aussie Open. I've not seen it yet because for some reason, despite the fact we live in this era where everything is available all the time, we're not going to see Royal Quest on New Japan World for a while yet. But from what everybody has said, it was possibly the greatest tag team match in a long time. A long time. Nothing but love for that match between those four.
I saw the reports of a standing ovation throughout the match.
Yeah.
Like it was non-stop. Yeah, good for them. Like two very talented teams.
Incredible. And it was after the match where FTR were giving some love to Aussie Open. But before they did that, Dax Harwood had some choice words for AEW's Tony Khan.
First things first, Tony Khan. We still work for you. Book us, brother. It's not the first time, is it?
First things first, they're the realist. And this got boos from the crowd.
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw
like
the
a
quote.
light smattering of boos. Not like boos like, how dare you want to get booked? Boo! More like boos, sort of, the mention of Tony Khan, I believe.
Oh, that's
A
interesting.
little smattering of boos. I mean, if you were in the crowd, do correct me if that was the case, but I definitely heard boos when they mentioned the lack of booking that they've had. And this is indicative of a problem in AEW that you're sick and tired of me talking about. You're sick and tired of us lamenting on. But it's true. You've just got too many cooks. Too many cooks. Within that entire roster, there's too many people.
Yeah, there are, but it's weird in FTR's case because they've been presented and they've been booked really strongly with regard specifically to the number of titles that they have held.
And still do hold.
And still do hold. And I don't understand why they're not on the show. I don't get that because obviously Tony Khan is pretty high on them, enjoys their work, lets them have lots of gold belts, and then they're not on the show. I find it puzzling. I think there's more to the story here, but I don't know what that is.
They kind of make like it's one of those where they're very scattered, sporadic appearances. I know Dax Harwood's had some singles matches in the build-up to All Out, and they were in a six-man tag at All Out, but nothing that I personally believe really plays to their strengths, which is a phenomenal tag team that can have phenomenal tag team matches. There was a point when they joined that they did get a lot of time. And they were doing those sort of 15-minute challenges with new teams, and they were getting a lot more focus. But then since then, a lot of other names and bodies and faces have joined AEW, and now it's kind of trickier to get through it. And this is, again, it's something that I think a lot of, not just us on the sidelines, but people within these promotions have said that it's kind of difficult to sort of find your place in a wheel that's always moving.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you one thing. Hopefully they'll be back soon because I'm well up for some acclaimed FTR tag action.
Oh,
especially
yeah.
with the acclaimed having the belts. I think they could FTR if there's any team that can make them even better than they already do and get them over more than they already are, which is difficult because they're really over. It's National Scissoring Day on Dynamite, by the way. I don't know if you heard.
That seems appropriate. There you go. Gift that. That would make sense. That'd be a nice way to bring FTR in.
I agree.
To do some leg scissors.
I don't know what's going on there because they're doing better work away from AEW at the moment. It shouldn't be that way, should it?
Yeah, it's a wonder why people think, oh, maybe AEW. Why we get upset with. People get upset with us for talking about how AEW hire too many wrestlers. Which brings us to our next story. Bandido offered an AEW contract. And that's no disrespect on Bandido because Ian Jericho had a blinder on Wednesday. I would be tempted to do so myself. But after the match, he was offered
have a blinder with Chris Jericho?
No, offer him a
Good
contract. Me and Jericho could go an hour, mate.
I want to see that.
Easy. I've had one wrestling match, and it was at least -1 star. Now, whilst we don't know whether or not he signed said contract, AEW weren't the only people interested in Bandido, were they?
They weren't. The Fed also. After that match, Bandido offered the contract, and it's been stated here, whilst we don't know if he signed said offer, Brian Alvarez revealed on Wrestling Observer Live that WWE were trying to get Bandido's phone number during that match, presumably with hopes of making him an offer.
Maybe just to send him some fun emojis.
Yeah, some MMS stuff. That's all good, isn't it?
Send him a ringtone. It doesn't. And I like this because this is another indicator of sort of the Triple H era in WWE, whereby Triple H would see someone like Bandito and go, actually, it's gold in them there hills. Get his number now. But then, he's been around for ages, and he's been doing stuff for ages. Bandito has. Like,
why wait until he's on your competition show? Oh, he's had a really good match. Quick, get him on the phone. Just watch all the other matches he's had. He's really good in all of them. Like, you shouldn't wait for that. I find that a little bit weird.
They've given Bandito the Gerald Field treatment as from Hey Arnold, and they've just waited until it was all like, until everybody had eyes on him and were like, yeah, well, he's great, we'll have him.
What a reference.
I know, right?
I've not watched Hey Arnold, so let's just talk about Hey Arnold.
That's a deep cut, that is.
Yeah,
that's a good episode, Gerald Field.
Yeah, it is, yeah. There was some really heavy... Sorry, go on. I'm going to get into Hey Arnold. I was watching Doug last night.
Oh, now which one? The Nickelodeon one?
Oh, yeah.
Because the Disney ruined Doug.
Yeah.
Disney. Oh gosh, they did a horrible job with Doug.
Up the beats.
Which episode of Doug did you watch? We'll get to the rest of the news.
No, get on with it.
People like it when we go off kilter. It wasn't the only issue that it wasn't the only thing coming out of the Dynamite that was related to Bandito. So Bandito obviously offered this contract, and fair play to him. Not only did he put on a blinder, but he did so without his usual ring attire. So Fightful reported this, that Bandito arrived at the arena and his ring attire arrived somewhere else. So he had his mask with him, thankfully, but then he had to make a few phone calls to see whether some of the attire that he'd auctioned off recently was in the area that he could borrow. Could you smash that frame for me? I need to put my trousers on. To no avail. He borrowed some bits of attire from other wrestlers, but then he had to go around the city and try and buy bits for his outfit as well.
Love that.
He ended up using what was described as masking tape for like wrapping his wrists and stuff, and fair play, and he earned a lot of plaudits for this as well. Not only was it an incredible match, but it was done in the build-up with really difficult circumstances of basically forgetting your PE kit.
You wouldn't know, would you?
No way.
Look at him.
It never crossed my mind, because I guess because his mask is so striking, you just went, oh,
yeah.
He's got some new gear, and there's his mask.
Should have asked the Godfather. He's always handy.
Now that's an urban legend, isn't it?
Apparently
the old
so.
Undertaker trousers thing, because Undertaker at Survivor Series 2000 wore these snakeskin trousers that were hilarious, and he since went, oh no, I forgot mine, and Godfather let me his, and Godfather threw him under the bus and went, no, I didn't, mate, you just bought rubbish trousers. Oh, those lads in the gang, they don't half have a laugh.
BSK for life.
BSK, they are such a fun bunch of boys. Let's end on some MJF news. Obviously, he's kept the wrestling world talking throughout 2022. And speaking to KFC Radio, he talked about the end of his free agent contract.
KFC Radio?
I'm sure it's KFC Radio. Kentucky Fried Classics.
What, the one that airs when you're in the restaurant?
Yeah, he was doing a series of radio interviews. After that, he did Asda Radio.
Sorry, carry on.
I'd love a gig on Asda Radio.
Yeah,
don't forget now. And just in case you're watching Asda, milk is half price today. Here's Ed Sheeran. There we go.
Nice.
Easy.
Come and get your black bin bags.
Can't sing the next part of the song because it hasn't aged well. So MJF was talking about his contract coming up on January the 1st, and he said, in terms of where he will go, he doesn't care where as long as the money's right. He said, I concern myself with where the money's at. I'll go to a new company with a new founder that no one's ever heard of if they're willing to pay me the most amount of money. And then they kind of sort of hypothetically talked about the idea of MJF running his own wrestling company. And you know what? He's up for it. He says, I think it's an incredible idea. And it's something that I've brought up. I do genuinely think that I'm a prodigy. And I say that humbly. And there's probably no one in the wrestling world that knows more or has a better wrestling IQ than me. This could be one of those games of who said it, MJF or Adam Pacitti. So, of course, I've thought about it. And if there was financial backing and somebody said to me, hey, MJF, you'll be the face of my company and you can make the decisions and you can make the calls and you can decide who gets in the ring, who doesn't get in the ring. Most important thing to me is the money. All right, Mr. Krabs. And if I can make an absurd amount of money without having to be stressed out of my effing mind, the only person you should worry about is yourself. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're out of their mind. So MJF Wrestling in 2024 when his contract's up.
I hope so.
Why not?
MJF wrestling in 2024. I'd be surprised if he
Oh,
wasn't.
I see there, the old double meaning.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's funny. It's in character. It's good stuff.
I love the idea. Thing is, if MJF was to run a wrestling promotion, he would do what all the territories did and just make himself the champion, and it would be completely in character with MJF.
It's interesting that he said that he's like talked about it before. You never know what's real and what's not. I feel like a bit of a schmuck sat here dissecting this in the way that we would anybody else.
Yeah, Adam, since when did you run a wrestling promotion?
Right? I didn't.
You did, I saw you.
Will he do it?
Will he?
No. Yeah. All right, we'll leave that story there. It's MJF being a bellend.
It's a good time had by all. On the YouTube channel right now, two really amazing pieces of video for you to watch, right? Something slightly heavy that we did yesterday, and thank you for watching it, which is Rabid, the Chris Benoit story, an incredible recanting of the events that led up to something that changed wrestling forever. And you can watch that right now on the YouTube channel. If you do want something brighter, a little bit lighter for your Monday, a brand new weirdest wrestling ever with Jack the Jobber.
Great American Bash 2004.
Oh, that was the night of the Concrete Crypt.
It was, and lots of other stuff that I had forgotten about.
Two lovely videos waiting for you now on this very YouTube channel. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.